Years ago, there was a mine explosion in the north of Mexico, a coal mine where 65 miners died. And because of the criminal negligence and the responsibility of the company, a multinational company based on Mexico and its Mexican, Grupo Mexico, I accused the company of industrial homicide. And the company was colluded with the Mexican government at that time, which was a right-wing government, and they started immediately a political persecution against me, against my family, against Los Mineros. So I had to leave the country. I went to live in exile in Canada, and I got a lot of international support and solidarity from many trade unions in the world. Also, I kept the loyalty of Los Mineros, the members of my union, trade union Los Mineros, the Mine and Steel Workers Union of Mexico, and of course the love and support of my family, my wife and my family. So, but it was a very hard time. At that time, the government considered me against their own interests and against the interests of the companies they were protecting. Nobody has been punished. Nobody has been investigated for all this. What happened? It was on the 19th of February 2006, and also we haven't recovered the bodies. So the bodies of the miners are still abandoned at the bottom of the mine. The unions. That this is what happens usually when the companies are colluded with governments. They criminalize the social struggle, the struggle for democracy and for freedom of association that we have been committed all our lives. So this is what happened, and I received all kinds of threats, including death threats against my life, against my family. Well, the protections, what we call is protection contracts, usually are contracts which are signed in favor of the companies, and the so-called pseudo leaders or leaders which are not really authentic or democratic elected. They usually sign contracts with the companies when a new project or a new development is going to happen. And the workers who are going to be working for that company, these leaders say that they protect their interests, that they have a collective bargaining agreement, that they will have the best wages, and it's not true. This is only a private agreement between the company and the leaders and the corrupted leaders. And all these agreements are made without the knowledge of the workers, without the approval of the workers. They are just written on the backs of the workers. And this is the way to exploit the labor force of Mexico. So they use these contracts to hire workers, but they don't have anyone who defend their rights. And so they can work 8, 10, or 12 hours, being paid only 8. They can have the lowest wages. They can be fired or repressed without nobody who defends them and protects them. So this has been the way in which the workers have been exploited in Mexico in the last 30 years, I would say. We approved recently the agreement a couple of months ago in the Senate, in the new Senate, the agreement 98 from the International Labor Organization and the ILO, and this agreement is to recognize the right to the workers for freedom of association and for the right to collective bargaining agreements. So this is a way to stop and cancel all these protection contracts. We have been waiting for this agreement to be signed and approved like 70 years now, since from 1949, a promotion that I did from my party in the Senate, and it was unanimously approved. So in the near future, there won't be any more protection contracts in Mexico. Well, I would say, Mexico has, for the last 30 years, the neoliberalism introduced a model in which the wages of the workers are very low. We used to be the highest wages. We had the highest wages in Latin America. 24 years ago, when the NAFTA agreement was signed between the United States, Canada, and Mexico, Mexico had the best and the highest wages for the Mexican workers. Now we are the lowest in Latin America. So we have been trying to change this. And today, I would say the average worker, the average wage for the workers in the industry is around maybe between $12 and $15 per day. It's too low. In the miners' union, we had like $40 to $50 per day. We are like 2 or 3 times above the national average. And this is why they continually attack our union. They continually attack us as leaders because we are promoting and trying to increase the wages and benefits for the workers. So this still is low, but we really are changing the labor law in Mexico, and we're going to promote the increase in wages and benefits with the new government, which will start in office in this coming Saturday, the 1st of December. I think we will have the basis to improve the working conditions, the wages and benefits for the workers, and open a new life for the working class of Mexico. We are very optimistic that we will succeed. I'm fighting very strongly for that as a trade union leader and as a senator. And the Senate is working in this reform of the labor law. And it's a very progressive, and it will make a big difference for the workers. So there is a high expectation of the workers in Mexico, thanks to the solidarity and support from many workers from all over the world. But I would say the union leaders from Finland, they were very supportive of our struggle. And they helped very much in writing letters, sending messages to the Mexican government when we were at that time being repressed by the government. So I think that I would say my experience tells me that we fought against the three governments of Mexico, the last 3 governments. We fought against the three richest men of Mexico, the 3 biggest companies of Mexico, and we succeed. I am the chairman of the Labor Committee in the Senate. I'm the secretary of the Economic Committee in the Senate, and I'm a member of 3 more committees in the Senate on energy, mining, and regional development and foreign relations. So I think this is something that should be an experience and a case to study. It's not because of me, but because we finally succeed. So international solidarity works. The loyalty of the members of my union from Los Mineros was so great. So keep fighting, brothers and sisters from Finland, and try to improve always the better, to work for a better future for all the working class in Finland, and the best social and economic programs for the benefit of everybody.